I have the great pleasure to be introducing Catherine Segurson. Catherine.
Hello.
Yay! She's in the house, folks.
Yep.
And you are the founder and editor of the Catamaran Literary Reader.
Yes.
And this is a Santa Cruz...
Right. It's based in the Tannery Arts Center in Santa Cruz, and I started it there when the studios first opened. So I started Catamaran there in a studio in March of 2012, and it's still going. So it was a great place to start something creative there.
Yeah,
especially in that community.
It's a difficult venture that you embarked upon, Catherine. A literary reader, magazines. You know, the printing world is falling down. It's not happening anymore. Newspapers are running. And anyways, but you, because of, I think, the beautiful quality of the content and the actual magazine itself, you have been able to persevere.
Yeah, well, it's not as grim as you think it is. People continue to love print. They continue to love holding the physical object, like real books and real magazines. And so we do take care in the physical quality of the journal.
Oh, it's beautiful. The pages are matte.
Yes, it's matte. It's a fine. It's a quality paper. The finish is matte for reading because with a glossy, there's a little glare, and if you want to sit and read for a while, that can be irritating. So we have it matte because we're hoping that people will just relax and read for a while and absorb it, and the matte paper is better for that.
And it's a lovely texture. When I brought your most recent addition to the house, my teenage daughter and her friends picked it up and were immediately struck by the texture and the beautiful print, because you mix your textual work with visual work.
That's right. Yeah, we do. We include fine art. And it's interesting. I have a teenage daughter also, and they love it. And I work with interns from UCSC, and they always get so excited when the magazine they've been working on, we work, online and edit on PDF. When the physical magazine arrives, everyone gets so excited. And I think for the young people, they're not as in awe of digital things anymore. It's sort of like they're really more in awe of this physical object that they've created. I think that the digital area is just it's everywhere, and so they've lost sort of that awe of respect for it. But the physical object still has this ability to inspire, and
yeah.
And then when you look at it, too, there's a lot of art in there. We put a lot of fine art, at least 10 or 12 artists who each have a series of what they're working on in the magazine. So not only is it good to read for the poetry and the fiction, but it's kind of like walking into an art gallery, because you get to see, these series of beautiful creative visual works that are going on. And the big challenge for me is try to combine the two in a narrative within the magazine. So.
If you're wondering where you can learn more about Catherine Segurson's Catamaran Literary Reader, she has a beautiful website called CatamaranLiteraryReader.com. You also have a great Facebook page. You can just look up Catamaran Literary Reader. And what we're here to talk about is, of course, your latest edition, and including the upcoming Catamaran Writing Conference. I believe this is the third one that you're hosting.
Right. Yes.
So It's wonderful. So along with the magazine, you've also in the last 4 years started this conference.
Right, the conference. Yeah, it kind of goes along with our wanting to be engaged with the writing community and discovering new work by people, and helping to promote their work by publishing their work, but also we take some select contributors to Catamaran that have had books come out and have had teaching experience as well, and we bring them here to the Stevenson School in Pebble Beach. It's a beautiful setting right in the 17-mile drive, and we have them do small workshops with people to actually look at their manuscripts and help them develop their writing. So we have a group this year of 7 different teachers, different genres, coming to work with students or it's adult students, but and then they get to work in these workshops in the morning, and then in the afternoons it's open, but we have lots going on to choose from. Like we have excursions that are literary themed, where we go to Cannery Road to visit the Steinbeck Ricketts house. We go to the Tor house, Robinson Jeffers house. We hike in Point Lobos, where Robert Louis Stevenson, that was his inspiration for Treasure Island. So these are fun outings. We also have guest lectures every day, and we have evening talks with people that come in, specialists or celebrated people in the literary world will come and just give a talk. So
this conference that Catherine Segurson is talking about is happening July 31st through August 4th. And the reason we wanted to have you on so much in advance of the actual conference is that don't you have to sign up by July 15th?
We'd like you to sign up by July 15th. I think we're actually extending the deadline to the 25th to sign up, just because we want a little time to get your manuscript in and get it to the instructors so they can think about your work ahead of time.
Wonderful. So it's a 4-day extravaganza of writing workshops and hiking and these little field trips that you're going that have a very literary basis to them. And you have a pretty big guest that's going to be...
Oh, sure. Yeah, we have... we have... the great Jonathan Franzen is coming. He's been a wonderful supporter of the magazine. He's been in the magazine. He's given us a donation. He's come on a few of our events. So he's coming actually the first night on July 31st. And I'll be doing a talk with him. And it'll be geared toward people that are, sort of really working on their writing and wanting career advice from him. So that'll be a great way to hear from one of the great American authors to inspire you as you launch yourself into 4 days of intense working with your peers. So he's coming, yeah. It was a real honor that he's coming. He could be doing some big, giant gala in New York, but he's coming to our little Catamaran conference.
So wonderful.
I know. His paperback of Purity is coming out August 1st, so it'll be an exciting time for him as the book goes into the second round of publicity. So he's in the thick of it, so it'll be a really great opportunity to just hear from him the advice he has to give. And we have prose workshops, fiction and nonfiction, and he can speak to that as an award-winning novelist and essayist. And he also won the National Book Award, for the corrections. But we also have a poet, Dorianne Lowe, coming, and she's a very famous poet. She's coming the next night to talk to the poets.
And she's talking about her literary Catamaran Literary Reader and the wonderful conference that's coming up, the Catamaran Writing Conference. This is the third one that they're having, and they've all been at Pebble Beach. Is that right, Catherine?
Right, at the Stevenson School.
And this is July 31st through August 4th. If you need more information, please go to catamaranliteraryreader.com. There's also a Facebook page for the writing conference. If you look up Catamaran Writing Conference, you'll find that there. Right. And so, Catherine, you started telling us a little bit before that quick break about a poet that is coming for the conference.
Yes. She's talking one evening.
Who is this?
And her name is Dorianne Lowe. So there'll be... Each evening we do an evening in conversation. So the first evening we're going to have a conversation with Jonathan Franzen, and then the second evening in conversation will be with the poet Dorianne Lowe. And then the other evenings will be with some of our instructors, where they get a chance to talk about their work with our participants.
Catherine, can you tell us a little bit more about who are some of the other instructors?
Oh, okay. Well, we have for poetry, we have Joseph Malhar. And Joseph Malhar, he's the author of 3 poetry collections, and he was a finalist for the Oregon Book Award. And he's he's a wonderful poet. He has a big following. He's received just multiple, awards. This is his second time teaching with us. His workshop was so popular the first time. He really wanted, and he loved it, so he really wanted to come back. And it's a good chance to work with him because he does not live locally, but he is visiting the Bay Area for another residency program, so he'll be able to come down and teach. But he lives actually in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Wow.
The other poetry workshop is with Zach Rogow, and Zach Rogow has been the poetry editor for Catamaran for since the beginning. Actually, I met Zach when he was my teacher at California College of the Arts in San Francisco in world poetry. So I've known Zach for a long time, and I know what a wonderful teacher he is. He's got a blog called Advice for Writers. He's published 20 books, so either as a translator or in poetry collections or plays. So he'll be a wonderful addition to the conference this year as an instructor. And then we have 3 instructors for fiction. We have Molly Gloss, and this is a real rare opportunity to work with Molly Gloss because she's a best-selling author, but she doesn't normally teach. But her work was in the first issue of Catamaran, and she's kind of been following our progress and supporting us ever since and referring other writers she knows. Like she referred Ursula Le Guin to us. And so when I asked her, she said, I normally don't do this, but I think that, it looks like everything you do is so much fun. And so she's coming to teach. Yeah, she's coming to teach. She's won many prizes. Her book, The Hearts of Horses, and the follow-up book, Falling from Horses, or, bestsellers. She's also won awards for science fiction, so if anybody wants to work on their science fiction, that would be a great chance to work with her. And then we have our own Elizabeth Mackenzie, who's an editor for Catamaran since the very beginning. But her book, The Portable Veblen, just came out this year, and it was shortlisted for the Bailey's Prize, which is awarded to the best work of fiction by a woman in the world. So to make the short list of 6 in the running for that was a big deal. Yeah, a big deal. And she's just really tapped into all that's going on in the fiction world, and she's a wonderful editor. So it'd be a great chance for anyone who wants to work with somebody that really can take care to help you editorially. Can I keep going? We got a couple more. Okay.
Please do.
Charlie Jane Anders. Charlie Jane Anders came and spoke here at the Living Writers. She has a new book out called All the Birds in the Sky. She does Writers with Drinks in San Francisco. It's a reading series. And she's published in just many literary journals, and she just won the Lambda Literary Award in the transgender category. So she's really interesting and fun. Those are our fiction instructors, and we have 2 nonfiction instructors. Frances Lefkowitz, who this is her second time teaching at the Catamaran Conference. Her book, To Have Not, was a memoir of growing up in 1970s San Francisco, and she teaches all over. She's a wonderful teacher, and she's been in Catamaran 3 times. And then there's Elizabeth Rosner. And she her work explores themes of identity and history. So her book, Gravity, was autobiographical prose and poetry, mostly dealing with her father, who experienced being a Jewish concentration camp survivor. At any rate, so those are our wonderful teachers, and I hope people will take a look at. You can go to our website, catamaranliteraryreader.com, and under the conference tab, you can see if there's a full page on each instructor, which will tell you more about them with links to their books. And
Catherine Segurson, she is the founder and executive editor Is that what you call
Editor-in-Chief.
Editor-in-Chief at the Catamaran Literary Reader. This is our own Santa Cruz local literary magazine, and it's a great pleasure to have you back on the show here, Artist on Art. Catherine Segurson, if you're interested, the conference is happening July 31st through August 4th in Pebble Beach along the 17-mile drive, and I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. For more information, again, go to their website, catamaranliteraryreader.com. There's also the Facebook page, Catamaran Literary Reader, and then you also have the Catamaran Writing Conference Facebook page.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Catherine, I hope you can come back on and continue telling us the wonderful work that all of your magazines are just chock full of incredible both authors and visual artists, and I thank you for your work.
Oh, thank you.
Stay tuned, everybody. We've got Dixie Mills up next.